Hi guys, welcome back to The Social Tune, and today we are finally taking a look at the latest album by Mike the Moonpies, Steak Night at the Prairie Rose.
He's got 2 kids, he's got a wife, but don't let him fool you cause he damn sure got a knife. He's a rambler, gambler, he just quit drinking and he's on the road crew tonight.
I have wanted to talk about this album for a month now. Then due to some shipping problems it got delayed, thanks a lot Amazon, but hey, it's finally here now. Because yeah, I did not want to review this until I had it. We'll get to exactly why in a little bit, but first a little background. For those of you who don't know, which is I'm guessing about 95% of you, Mike the Moonpies are a Texas country band that were formed in 2007, who have been releasing studio albums since 2010, full of what many people have described as the realest and purest of country music, to the point that even their first album is titled The Real Country. Their last album, Mockingbird, back in 2015 got them more attention than ever, but still nowhere near enough to make them any sort of a hit, which means that even most country fans watching this probably won't have heard of them. Heck, the only reason I found out about it was because of Saving Country Music. Check it out, it's a great blog. And while I do like what I've heard from them up until this point, their releases have always felt a little bit bloated to me. Never quite hitting me quite to my core, as they probably have for many of the band's fans. But from the moment that I heard Steak Night at the Prairie Rose, I'm not gonna lie, I was hooked. Because unlike a lot of country music that I've covered on this channel before, this was amazing purely for being so incessantly charming and consistent from start to finish. A record that is not only traditional, but is also very smart, self-aware, and frequently hilarious. And I am so pleased that I can finally bring it to you here today, because trust me, it'll be one of the most underrated gems of 2018. So may as well start off this review by taking a look at the man behind the mic, Mike.
And I still need to change my strings and 1,000 different other things, but look around and anyone can see that things ain't like they used to be. No, things ain't like they used to be.
The lead singer of this group is Mike Harmeyer, who actually put the band together in the first place, hence why it's called Mike and the Moonpies. And if you want one consistent element across all of their discographies, it's him, because he is a fantastic frontman. His voice has a wonderful drawl to it that never dips in energy, which is made so infectious by the fact that you can always tell that he's having a ton of fun. You can honestly hear him smiling through the production on songs like the opener Road Crew. He's just so warm and friendly. Plus, his comedic timing is fantastic, as several of these songs call for a subtler brand of theatrical delivery that he pulls off incredibly well. However, with that said, don't you dare underestimate him when it comes to delivering the power and potency of the more dramatic tracks. Like the title track, where he brings a worn, tired edge to his voice that reflects the nostalgia and the somber reflection of that song so damn well. Or hell, even on songs where he needs to be a bit more bitter, he pulls it off exceptionally well on songs like The Beaches of Biloxi and The Last Time, in a way that makes it very clear that while he is irritated, a lot of that irritation is directed at himself. He's just a funny and compelling guy who is capable of conveying that in his music, which is a much rarer skill than a lot of people seem to think. But hey, what's a great frontman without the rest of the band to back him up?
And I'm gonna lose her to the tables and the gin. The beaches of Biloxi got the best of me again.
You know, a lot of bands struggle with just how long to leave their albums, as a lot of them end up being just a little bit too long or too short. This one, on the other hand, gets off on just the right foot and ends right on time. 10 tracks long with tight grooves and varying speeds that means that it can never feel too long or too short. Well, okay, if I had to nitpick, I guess some of the instrumental outros can drag a little, but again, that's a minor gripe. And otherwise, the instrumentation here is close to flawless. From the fast-paced rollicking guitars and the backing organ on the opener Road Crew, to the dreamier pedal steel-touched and almost psychedelic in spots Beaches of Biloxi, to the laid-back, relaxed tempo on Wedding Band, to the tighter bass-driven groove of Things Ain't Like They Used to Be, where the chorus really does burst free with a killer bridge, all the way through to the unstoppable organ-touched groove of the closer We're Gone. The grooves on this album are just flat out amazing, with a ton of instrumental parts that never feel like filler. And all of it is just so damn country. I could easily see this soundtracking any trip down to the pub in the best possible way. And the highlight is easily the light guitar pickup that resonates throughout the title track, with the pedal steel and the percussion adding soft atmospherics to back up the lyrics about a boy reminiscing about his father. And speaking of which, let's dive into what many people won't give this album enough credit for, the songwriting.
They always let me tag along down to steak night at the Prairie Rose, a covered band from 10 to close, and my old man sitting right there next to me.
Now, one of the things that really does make me appreciate this album more than most of the country that I've covered on this channel is that it's just plain fun. It's an album celebrating the purest of country music, full of laid-back party and pub anthems that would put the likes of Sam Hunt and Luke Bryan to shame. But not only is it fun, it's actually got a point and real maturity to back it up. Take The Last Time, where he swears that this is the last time that he's going to help out this girl, that is until the next time she asks him, as he dryly admits that he knows he's not going to give up on her just yet. Or Road Crew, which is all about the unsung heroes of tours, the crew that makes it all possible and never gets the recognition they deserve. And I love how the song simultaneously highlights how well they get along with the band members, laughing and joking, and yet also the necessity for them to get along, whether they like it or not, with that one really sly line about laughing at all your jokes when they're not even funny. And then you have the songs that are just plain funny, like Might Be Wrong, where he's chatting up this girl in a bar and saying that he knows how badly she wants him, before admitting that he's probably wrong about that. Or the even more subversive Wedding Band, where he's chatting to this girl in a bar who is clearly engaged to be married, and even though you think you know where it's going, he instead tries to convince her to hire him to play at her wedding. That is just fucking hilarious. Or take the darker songs, like the gambling addiction described on Beaches of Biloxi, or listing all of the terrible things he's done in his life on The Worst Thing, the worst of all being involving his loved one in any of it. And across all of these songs, the themes of growing up and belonging to an older age are stark indeed, with the two most blatant examples being Things Ain't Like They Used to Be and the closer, We're Gone. The latter of which is basically saying to the audience, if you hated this album, good news, that era of music is dead and gone, and now so is this album. Because after all, the days of people supporting independent bands like this is kind of a thing of the past, especially when they're barely involved in streaming, and especially in country music. Which incidentally is why I had to buy this album right after hearing it, and why it took me this long to get around to it. Because honestly, this was so good and so compelling that I was that determined to support their dream. But hey, apart from that, you have the anthems to growing old and settling down into your own routine on Getting High at Home. And of course, the title track, where our protagonist shows us that he's always been involved in this scene. Going there as a kid with his drunk, divorced father, a Coke for him and a beer for his dad, who nevertheless did encourage him and showed him the life that he wanted to lead. And that last verse has him raising his glass of beer up to the heavens in the same way his father did, promising his father that, just like he said that he'd see him on a stage one day, he'll see him in heaven soon enough.
We'll back out at 2 a.m. and get into a fight, spending all of our money from the gig we played last night. And when the bottle's finally empty and not much else could go wrong, well, the good news is we're gone.
So yeah, I adore this album. From start to finish, it is quintessential country music that does so much with so little. The kind of album that makes country such an amazing genre, not one that has to rely on sly songwriting or controversy, but simply taking an old formula and developing it to its full potential. Now, like I said, it's not utterly perfect, as The Worst Thing can feel a little bit underwritten and the instrumental outros can occasionally run a bit too long, but it's damn close. One of the closest that I have ever reviewed on this channel. So yeah, without a doubt, extremely strong 9 out of 10, highly recommended by yours truly. I doubt that many of you will like it as much as me, but if you're a fan of country music or just a fan of damn great music in general, I honestly can't see how you couldn't enjoy this just a little. So whether you're a diehard fan of the band or the genre or not, I highly recommend this to all of you, because it's honestly close to perfection and one that I was very glad to buy. Country music doesn't get much better than this, so don't let it pass you by like it will so many others. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit rough. Again, it's been snowing hard recently, and I think that may have gotten to me a bit, but hopefully I'll sound better tomorrow. Because I'm actually planning to bring you an episode of Record Roundup early this week, followed by another album review. So stay tuned for that, and if there are any other albums that you'd like me to check out, then please post them in the comments or tweet them at me at The Social Tune, link in the description. In the meantime, check this out, please subscribe so you don't miss a thing, and until the next time, I'm Finn, and this is The Social Tune, signing off. So may as well start off this review by taking a look at the man behind the mic, Mike of Mike and the Moonpies. Yes, I just... Damn it.